Let's talk about why Ring cameras are not safe for your kids. If you know anything about Ring cameras, put them in the comments below. They're under a lot of fire right now because of their lack of security and safety over the past few years. A lot of information first came out in like 2019, but now like way more things are coming out. So let me know if you've heard about this, and let's get started.
Welcome to the Protect Kids Online live stream. I'm CyberFareedah. I have a background in cybersecurity awareness, threat intelligence, online gaming, and other nerdy stuff. I've taken my gaming experiences and professional background to help parents like you protect their children online. I'm known as an award-winning Forbes 30 Under 30 internet safety expert, and I've been in some places on the internet and beyond that you...
Wait a minute. I just realized that I was muted. Let me know if you could hear me in the comments. Type 1 in the comments if you could hear me. But anyways, so Ring has had some security issues. And in today's live stream, we're going to be talking about Ring security issues and what you need to know to protect you and your family. So type 1 in the chat if you can actually hear me. For whatever reason, I could not hear the beginning of this video, but it is totally fine. But let me know if you can hear me, because I don't know if everything's coming up. So if you're watching this, I'm never going to put you on the spot all the time, but I'm putting you on the spot now because I don't even know if you can hear me. So let me know. Okay, you can hear me. Okay, thank you so much. Because I was like, what's happening? I don't understand what's happening. Oh my God. So you didn't even hear me at the beginning of the video. Doesn't matter. Okay, whatever. So FTC says that Ring employees, thank you for being here, illegally surveillance customers and failed to stop hackers from taking control over users' cameras. Thank you, Zenit. Thank you, Lauren. And thank you, Monster. If I mispronounce your name, please let me know. So let's read this a little bit together. This is like very recently. This is May 31st, 2023. So the Federal Trade Commission charged home security camera Ring with compromising its consumers' or customers' privacy by allowing any employee, meaning any employee at Amazon or Ring, could access the consumer's private videos, and by failing to implement basic privacy and security protections, enabling hackers to take control of consumers' accounts, cameras, and videos. That's major, okay? And I was talking to a friend. He used to work at Amazon, and I was asking him, hey, like, have you heard about all of this Ring stuff? Would you? And he was like, yeah, I heard of it. And I said, would you ever put a Ring camera in your house for you and your family to protect them, or to make sure that someone's not getting into your house, like the normal ways that we, why we use security cameras? And he told me, no, I absolutely would never, ever, ever install a Ring camera. And I was like shocked. Okay. I was shocked, honey. But the thing is, it's owned by Amazon. And Amazon is known to have better security and privacy. Well, I don't know about privacy, but like security, because they own AWS. We're not going to go too deep into that. We're not going to go too technical, because I want this live stream to be about you and protecting your family online. But essentially, Amazon, it owns AWS, which Zinette would know a little bit more about this. She's also an internet safety expert. She does like cloud security. So I'd love to hear your thoughts if you're still here, Zinette. And they basically run almost every single website you can possibly think of. They have government websites, big corporations, small corporations. So they have good security. So the fact that they bought Ring camera for about $1 billion from this small company, and they don't have the security and safety, is really sad. And the guy that I was talking to that used to work at Amazon, he told me that they typically don't even have the team necessary to add the security and safety. So while it's a part of Amazon, they're not treating it in the same way that they treat their other products. So that is really scary. Anyways, so we're going to skip off of that. But the only thing is, the FTC said that they were required to implement privacy and security programs and safeguards on human review of videos, as well as more prominent security controls, such as multi-factor authentication on employee and customer accounts. So I always say, if you have a security camera, even if your security camera is not a Ring camera and it is a completely different, this is another camera, you still want to have security and safety. So even if the company that you're using is not Amazon, you do want to have multi-factor authentication. Let me know if you're familiar. Type 2 in the chat if you're familiar with multi-factor authentication and what it is. But essentially, it just means 2 ways of telling an account you are the owner of the account and you're the person that is supposed to be logging in. You do not want a random hacker or a random predator to have access to your camera feed, especially if you have a camera feed inside of your house. You want to be super careful about doing that because you do not want someone having access to you and your family. So anyways, that's that. This is, what is it? It was purchased in 2018, and they still don't have really good security and safety. So in the complaint, FTC says that Ring deceived its customers by failing to restrict employees and contractors' access to customer videos, using customer videos to train algorithm, and among other purposes without consent, and failing to implement security. And so a lot of these employees also were downloading, okay, so 2. So they were downloading, what was 2 stand for? I forgot. Was 2 about about multi-factor, or you don't know about multi-factor? If you don't know, let me know. If you want me to explain it more, just say explain more, because I'm happy to. But Lauren, I feel like 2 meant, right? 2 meant that you knew what multi-factor authentication was. Oh gosh, what was I saying? My train of thought. My train of thought went, oh yeah. So one of the employees at Amazon, he logged in to the Ring camera of some woman's house, downloaded a bunch of, right. Okay, good. Okay, right. So he downloaded a bunch of videos from this woman's feed, and then he saved the videos on his own computer. So even after he left Amazon, he still had access to those things that he saw. And this has happened to so many people across different, it's just not just women, but other people as well. But overwhelmingly, a lot of them were women that had their privacy violated. So that's concerning, okay? So the FTC also lays out some security failures because they did not protect your online accounts from other people trying to get into your account. So when you make an online account, especially if you're going to make a security camera account, you do not want a hacker or a predator having access to that video feed. They did not have good security to protect your account from someone else accessing your account. And that is one of the complaints that the FTC did. And these complaints happened from 2017 to 2018. I'm going to play you a video of what happened when these security breaches or security failures happen to so many different families. So I'm going to share this video from the Today Show. This was 3 years ago, where the Ring camera people did not have good security on regular consumers' accounts. And so a lot of people had no idea that they could have better passwords, that they could put multi-factor authentication to protect their kids from this happening to their family. And so this is what happened to one family because of the lack of security. Let me share this screen. Okay, type 1 in the chat if you can hear the video.
I'm your best.
Is it just me, or I can't hear anything?
Friend.
As 8-year-old Alyssa LeMay stood in her room, a terrifying voice spoke.
I don't know why I can't hear anything. I don't think you can hear. Can you hear anything? Type 2 in the chat if you can hear something.
Don't you want to be my best friend?
The horrifying sound coming from this Ring security camera installed in the child's bedroom, which she shares with her 2 sisters.
Oh, I think I know
So
why.
I come upstairs and I hear some banging noise.
I think I know why.
I was like, who is that?
Okay, well, I'll explain what's happening because I have no idea why
As
the audio. Oh,
Alyssa
here it
LeMay
is.
stood in
Always
her room,
a loud sound.
a terrifying voice.
Here it is. Now we're back. Okay, so now let's watch. This is what happened to one of the families because of the lack of security on the cameras. Thanks for your patience, technology.
Who is that?
I'm your best friend.
As 8-year-old Alyssa LeMay stood in her room, a terrifying voice spoke to her.
I'm Santa Claus. Don't you want to be my best friend?
The horrifying sound coming from this Ring security camera installed in the child's bedroom, which she shares with her 2 sisters.
So I come upstairs and I hear some banging noise. I was like, who is that?
For 5 minutes, the voice taunting the young girl, playing strange music, even instructing her to destroy her room.
You can mess up your room. You can break your TV. You can do whatever you want.
The LeMay family installed the camera just days before the device was apparently hacked.
I watched the video, and I mean, like, they could watch them sleeping. They could have watched them changing. I mean, they could have seen all kinds of things.
This just the latest hack of an in-home security camera. Over the weekend, a Florida family says they were spied on in their living room.
Can you bring like a web browser up on your phone and then type in the website that I tell you?
No.
And earlier this year in Washington State,
stop recording the camera.
The owner of this Nest camera recorded a hacker harassing her family.
Shut the up.
Nest did not respond to our request for comment, but Ring says in the Memphis case, their security was not breached, adding hackers often reuse credentials stolen or leaked from one service on other services.
And I'm going to pause it right there, because just because their thing was not leaked at this particular moment does not mean that Ring does not have a responsibility to make sure that there is more security controls on your account and to make it easy for you to add extra security controls. So anytime you install any type of security camera, you want to change the default password to a password that is more secure, a password that is long, and a password that is easy for you to type in. So I highly suggest you don't just do passwords like numbers and letters and uppercase and lowercase and a bunch of things that confuse you, and you're taking 10,000 years trying to type it into your phone or your computer or whatever it is in order to get access to your account. I suggest that you do long passwords that are like words. We call them passphrases, in order to make it harder for a hacker to get into your account. I don't know how deep you want me to go into this subject, but I did do a full video on exactly how to protect your baby monitors and your security cameras. And I did add this video into the other video that I did about how to protect your cameras. Another thing you can do is add two-factor authentication, but sometimes companies don't allow you to have that, and Ring did not have that. And I believe they still don't have that. Someone correct me if I'm wrong. So that is on them to provide you extra security measures so you can turn it on. Because if they don't give you the extra security, you can't turn that on. So even though they said, hey, you know, we weren't hacked, but the other person didn't put privacy or security controls, they're not making it easier for random people, all of us regular people, to add security. So you would have to talk to someone who's like a security expert, or someone who's like in IT, or someone who's a little bit more well-versed in this to know, yeah, this is what you're supposed to do. Another good thing to do with your Ring cameras or any other camera is to separate it on a different network if at all possible. So I'm not going to go too deep into that because I know that's not really the subject of this video, but I did put the video that I made in the comments so that you can watch that video that I did.
Protect your privacy, security experts say you should use a strong and unique password.
What I just said.
The longer, the more secure.
Yes.
Change them often and set up two-factor authentication to ensure a hacker has to work twice as hard to break in, something the LeMay family admits they did not do.
I don't know who you are.
I'm Santa Claus.
This morning, the LeMay family still on edge after the device that was supposed to make them feel safe did anything but.
Ring has investigated the incident and is taking appropriate action to remove the hackers from the affected account.
I hope that they do that a little bit more often. I don't know if they did that for a lot of families. And I know a lot of people felt that the Ring customer service was not up to standards, which I totally, completely understand and believe. So this is the video that I did. Where's the theater mode? Okay. So this is the video I did on protecting your baby monitors. And I just put the link in the chat so you can go check that out whenever you have time. Whenever you have time. Wired did a whole research study on the FTC. Actually, let me put the FTC link here. I like to put the links so that you can watch it if you really want to, or read the actual article that we went through. And you can share it with a friend or someone who you know would appreciate the information. So in this article, they go into why. This is one of the privacy, someone who goes into privacy, Adrian, around why they don't recommend the Ring camera. So there's a bunch of reasons why. A lot of people, I made a video about this on Instagram, and a lot of people commented about the law enforcement. So they said, okay, so when you set up a Ring camera, you're automatically enrolled in neighbor service. You can go into the Ring app settings and toggle off the feed, integration, and notifications, which you absolutely can do. Neighbors, which is a standalone app, shows you activity feed from all nearby camera owners with posts of found dogs, stolen hoses, a safety report that shows how many calls for a service, violent or nonviolent, was made in the past week. And it also provides an outlet, which makes a lot of people uncomfortable, for public safety agencies like the local police, fire departments, or broadcast information more widely. It also allows Ring owners to send videos that they have captured, okay, to the law enforcement. This is a feature that is unique to Ring. This was created, and this is July 9th. So this was like a couple of weeks ago. Unique to Ring, even Nextdoor removed its forward to police feature in 2020, which allowed Nextdoor users to forward their own safety posts to law enforcement agencies. So there's a lot to talk about when it comes to law enforcement and Ring. I don't want to get too deep into it, but you should know that there is a connection with Ring and the law enforcement. And especially for Black and Brown communities, that can be something that creates a lot of anxiety, depending on where you sit in the marginalized group or whatever it is. I know we're not really saying marginalized as much anymore, but you know what I mean. In different communities that has a very difficult past when it comes to law enforcement. And so a lot of people are very, very anxious about this type of partnership with Ring and law enforcement. This article goes a little bit deeper into this, into their partnership and what's going on with that. I'm not going to go too deep into it, but they do have a partnership with them. And like this article said, they did stop one of the partnerships. Nextdoor stopped their partnership with law enforcement, but the Ring camera did not. Okay. All right. So there's EFF did Amazon Ring is a perfect storm for privacy threats. And I want to go deeper into this article more than anything else. And then I'm going to share with you a resource that I absolutely love, that I highly recommend that you should use if you're going to get a Ring security camera for your family. So I'm gonna. Okay. So it says recent reports show that Ring has partnered with police departments across the country to hawk its new surveillance system, going so far as to draft press statements and social media posts for police to promote Ring cameras. This creates a vicious cycle in which police promote the adoption of Ring. Ring terrifies people into thinking their homes are in danger, and Amazon sells more cameras. So now they're getting into like the consumerism, the capitalism, and then different dangers of this type of sharing with other people. So there's a lot of surveillance system, a lot of the Ring cameras, they're all connected, and it's just something that you want to be super, super mindful of because they do not have the right privacy. And Mozilla goes more into the privacy, because I just realized as I'm looking at this that the EFF goes more into the law enforcement thing, and I don't really want to have that conversation. So let's stick into Mozilla's privacy not included resource. If you don't know anything about Mozilla's privacy not included, I'm going to show you the entire thing. They have this privacy not included that allows you to make better decisions about the tech that you're getting. So they have mental health apps that are taking some of your data or your security, but they have a whole page on smart home security cameras, the robots, speakers, thermostats, doorbells, Apple HomePod Mini, and they go into each and every one and some of the security aspects of it and the safety aspects of it and what you need to know in order to protect your family. I absolutely love this resource. If you're thinking of getting a doorbell or you're thinking of getting any of these pieces of tech that you see on the screen, it's a really, really, really good idea to check out Mozilla and see what they say about this entire thing. So they have one, where is it? Where is Amazon? Okay, so they have one article on Amazon's Ring doorbell, and let's go into that step by step because they show more about what I want to talk to you about. And I'm going to copy this and put it in the chat as well so that you can have that. Okay, so Amazon's Ring doorbell, they said this little HD video capturing, motion detection, two-way talking doorbell lets you be the big brother in your own home. Shade. See who's at your door, your tablet to PC, or catch a video of your neighborhood porch pirate. So there's like, what can happen if someone gets into your Amazon Ring camera? So Amazon's Ring security cameras and doorbells are the most widely used home video cameras in most of the world today. One expert from the US Privacy Org of the EFF put it, Ring has steadily been becoming one of the largest surveillance in the nation. And as a wise comment book says, With great power comes great responsibility. And apparently, according to Mozilla's privacy team, they have not lived up to their privacy standards. So they've been reported to have some data links and some concerns that the Ring doorbell is full of third-party trackers tracking a good amount of personal information that Amazon Ring does not disclose. They have gotten a little bit more better with their privacy and deletion practices, which of course Mozilla and I appreciate. And they've added two-factor authentication to protect users in 2020, which is a great step forward. So if you have Ring, I highly recommend that you go in and add your two-factor authentication. I couldn't remember if they added it, so Mozilla said they did. That's perfect. And then, like we said, there's a problematic relationship with Ring and law enforcement because there's a lot of with racism and surveillance and that type of culture. You have to be mindful of that. The Ring does have a partnership with the law enforcement. So within Ring and their neighbors app, the privacy policy says that they can collect a whole lot of data, everything from your name, your phone number, your email, your postal address, age, gender, the location of your mobile device, videos, audio recording, and potentially even every single doorbell press and app interaction you ever have is being recorded. They say that they do not sell your information, but they also can share your information with third parties like advertising, marketed, government, and law enforcement. And this is why it's making a lot of people in different communities uneasy, because if law enforcement could know every single little interaction that happens outside of your home or even inside of your home, if you have a Ring inside of your house, then can that or will that be used against you, even if it's something where it's a very innocent interaction? So you're letting other people inside of your home where you may not want to let them. I do want to say this as a caveat to what they said in terms of letting people inside of your home. If you have a Ring camera or any other camera and you're putting it inside of your house, so let's say you're putting it in your living room, or you're putting it in your garage, or you're putting it in your bathroom, or you're putting it in your child's room, or you're putting it somewhere where you can monitor what's going on so that you can protect your child from someone doing something to them or from something happening to them. Maybe you're watching them sleep. Maybe you're worried about something happening to them. They might be falling off the bed or something medical happening. It is totally okay, and it is well within your rights to put a security camera within your house. For most people, it's better not to do that. It's better to keep it outside if at all possible. But if there's a reason why you want to do it inside, you should feel completely comfortable to do so. The only thing that I would ask you to do to protect you and your child from predators or hackers or lack of security and safety is to add more security and safety like passwords, multi-factor authentication, and separating the network, and researching the company that you're getting your cameras from. Because a lot of people may have done that. They may have had the best password in the world. They may have had like great two-factor authentication, everything you absolutely need. They separated the network, but you can't protect against someone from the company watching your child or someone from the company watching you and your family. And so it is important to go with a company that has had better track record with privacy and security or has cleaned up their sugar honey iced tea. And I really hope that Ring and Amazon do that pretty soon. There's a lot of legality that's happening right now, so I'm assuming they're going to try to be better with their security and privacy moving forward in terms of employees accessing people's video feeds. That would be absolutely amazing to have. And I know one of the biggest questions I always get is, okay, well, what security camera would you absolutely recommend? I'm not at the point where I can give like my actual recommendation. I have a short list, but I'm doing a little bit more research into them to make sure that I'm fully okay with recommending them to you. But for right now, I would say that Ring is not in that place of recommendation. And it pains me to say that because I believe that they do have the tools and they do have the resources to protect your cameras. So if you need to, for whatever reason, put it inside of your home, feel free to do whatever you need to do. Maybe get a camera that is offline. If you need one that's online because you're away from the house and you want to know what's going on, then get one that has a better privacy and security record and not one that has consistently failed you in their privacy and safety. And we don't really see a timeline to them fixing their security and privacy. So that's what I will say with that, because it is important, even if you don't want to put it inside or outside, whatever you decide, you just want to have really good security. Okay, so Oh, that's another one. I'm not gonna get into that. Okay. So there are, let's see. Oh, okay. So at the end of this article that Mozilla did, because I'm not going to read the entire thing. I like skimming it. As you can see, like I'm not reading the entire thing, but it's a really good one if you want to go into like what all is inside of the app and what's going on and what concerns have there been. They said that the privacy experts have shouted their concerns in places like the New York Times, which talked about some surveillance cameras, the Consumer Reports, NBC News, and so many other news organizations have done this. So like I said, you can do two-factor authentication. You can check if your address is exposed to the neighbor's app if you have the Ring camera. Make sure you're not sharing your login information with other people. If for whatever reason you have to share it with another person, I suggest that you use 1Password's password manager and sharing tool. They have a way where you can share passwords with someone else, and then you can revoke that share if you want to. So you can do that if you really need to share something. Oh, and Lauren says something. How do we know whether or not they actually do what they say? That's like one of the biggest problems. That really is. And how do these security factors help if the police are in a position to abuse your videos too? So number one, how would we know whether or not they actually do what they say? I'll pause this. We don't. The only time we know what they do what they say is if they have an audit publicly and we get to see records, or if it's something as simple as you said you were going to add this feature, this safety or security or privacy feature. We logged into your app. It's been like, I don't know, a year and a half now, and there are no features. That's obvious way that we can figure out. If they have an audit process, like I said, that's ways. Other than that, we really don't know unless someone does an investigation or has inside knowledge, or someone from the inside goes, they said they were going to do that and they didn't do that. So that's I'm with you there. We don't really know unless we know. And how would these security factors help if the police are in a position to abuse your video too? It would not. It would absolutely not, which is why a lot of people are pissed off and angry, rightfully so, because if they are sharing your videos with law enforcement and you don't want law enforcement to do that, because one person may have a perfect, amazing law enforcement police department in their neighborhood, and they're very friendly and they're always like, how can I make sure that I'm protecting the community and protecting your kids? And they're really on their job and they don't have a different agenda. Then you might be like, I don't really care if John from the police department knows. But if you have a police department that is notoriously not on your side, that is happy to get your family and your child in trouble, and if they see anything wrong, they're going to spin it, and they're going to do this, and they're going to falsify evidence, and and a lot of people have to worry about that, then no, you're right, Lauren. It's not going to matter. No matter what security that the company gives you or security that it has, if they're directly sharing the feed with law enforcement, it's not going to matter. Which is why these things are complex, which is why security is all about what is the greatest risk to you and your family. So sometimes, let's say someone decides to get a Ring camera or any other camera, and they feel like, okay, I have a child that has a severe health issue, and I am worried about their life. And I need to install something in my house that I can access outside of the house to make sure that my child or the person that is supposed to be taking care of them is doing their job. And so I, as a parent, care more about that than the possibility of the police looking at my camera. And I care about that more than the possibility of a predator or hacker hacking into the camera and talking to my kid or watching what we're doing. I'm going to do everything possible to make sure that my family's safe. But at the same time, I care more about my child's safety in this moment in time. Now, maybe later on, they can have a different point of view. They have maybe a different experience or a different space in their life. Like right now, my space in my life, I don't need a camera inside of my house. There's no way in heaven that I will ever have a security camera in my house. But because that's my situation, I would never do it. In any general circumstance, I don't recommend doing it. But if you have to do it, then you have to do what's best for you. And you have to decide what's the greatest risk to me and my family. And then you do that. So even though we're talking about all of these things, you ultimately have to make the best decision for you and your family, which is why I always say that you are the expert in your child and nobody else is. So they also said reviewing sharing options for your data if you have multiple people in your neighborhood. make sure you're comfortable, like we just talked about, with the fact that law enforcement may require the footage or may acquire the footage. I think that's what they meant. Maybe they may require. I don't know. This shouldn't require it for any real reason. But anyways, so think about all the personal events cameras inside, outside of your house will capture. So who is at your door? What is happening? The conversations you're having outside of your door. Are there activities that you and your family do on the porch or in your backyard or whatever it is? Are you okay with anybody having access to that and the conversations you're having with your family? That's something that you want to be mindful of. We talked about using strong passwords and usernames, delete footages as often as you can. It's not going to really matter if when everything's backed up into Amazon and they have access to that and they can get it whenever they want and share it with whatever they want. But it is helpful, let's just say, if there's someone who is like a hacker or a predator that has access to your account, they can still get your footage and download it, or they can put it on a website if they want to, which has happened before to families. So deleting the footage does help in that instance if someone who does not have access to Amazon, but they do have access to your account. Don't sign up with third-party accounts. Always do your email and strong password, which I wholeheartedly agree with. So anytime you start a new account, never, ever, 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 ever in the history of ever sign in with Facebook, or what else do people sign in with? Oh, your Apple, or there are many other different accounts that people like to sign in, or Gmail. So Gmail, your Google account, your Apple account, your Facebook account, don't use those accounts to sign into things like Ring or anything else. Keep it as separate as humanly possible. Sign up with a different email address with a different password. The reason being is because if you sign into all of these important or even not so important accounts with the same account login from Facebook, like let's just say you use Facebook to sign into everything. If they get access to your Facebook account, meaning they have your username and they have your password, now they have access to your Ring camera. Now they have access to some other social media account or account that you have created online. You don't want that. Absolutely never. Don't do that. So that's why Mozilla says do not sign in with the same thing. And then a password tool. I personally really like 1Password as a password tool. They have something called 1Password memorable passwords. I would show it to you here. I just want to make sure I'm not signed into my account. 1Password has this called, what is it called? Memorable. It's like a memorable password thing. I think that's what it's called. Password generator. Yeah, the password generator, but it's like memorable passwords. I think I can show you the screen. I have to just make sure I can show you the screen. Be sure I show you the screen. Okay. I don't think there's anything on the screen. And if there is, then so be it. I'll just delete this live afterwards. But anyways, so this is 1Password, and they have something called a password generator. And you can use this for your security cameras. I would go here, instead of having a password like this that has symbols and numbers and whatever, that takes 10,000, 5,000 years to do, I would go here and go into memorable password, capitalize it, make it at least 6 characters, and use that type of password. Don't use this password because I'm sharing online publicly. It's going to be here forever. Don't use that password, but go into Password Manager for 1Password, and not go to Password Manager. Go to 1Password Password Manager, and then use this. Use something like this as your password. Okay. Lauren says, I just wish that more people understood how easy it is for someone to learn how to use code to get into things that do have security features. My parents think it's near impossible, but I know better. You're absolutely correct. Yes, it is easy for someone. And sometimes the code is already written for them on, what's that website called? Stack Overflow, I think is what it's called. Someone correct me if I'm wrong if you know. I think it's Stack Overflow. But sometimes Stack Overflow will have codes already written for you. I don't think it's Stack Overflow. I don't know. It's something. Yeah, I think it's Stack Overflow, yes. And they can copy the code that someone else already created, and they can run something. Or they can download a program that does what they need to for them without having to even know any code. They can go to YouTube the same way that we're on YouTube learning something. They're on YouTube learning how to hack people, how to get into your security cameras. Some people do it for good reasons to make sure that you're having good security. And other people just do it to piss you off, and they do it because they're horrible human beings, to be honest. They're miserable, horrible human beings who are disgusting, and they need therapy. So anyways, it's absolutely, like you said, Lauren, it's not near impossible for someone to hack your camera. I may be doing this live again because I messed up in the beginning and there's no freaking audio in the beginning. So if you see me do another live stream on this, like, just ignore it unless you want to join it again. But I feel like I have to do it again because it's really important that we get this information. So I might do it again. If you see me do it again, that's what it is. Okay, so back to this. Okay, so you can use your device privacy controls to limit the access of your personal information. So you can not give access to certain things like your microphone, images, camera, location, unless you really need to. And you can keep your app regularly updated. And then you can limit tracking on your device through your regular one. This is a lot. I would really focus on these three. These top handle. This one is like if you want to get a little bit more, keeping your app updated is something you want to do for all your apps. So I recommend doing like auto updates. You said you had audio the entire time? Oh, was it from the beginning? Even from the very, very beginning of the live? Well, I'll keep it then. I'll keep it then. But I feel like in the very, very beginning, I was muted. I don't know why. Anyways, I don't know if you're here at the like very beginning. It was muted in the very beginning, I think, but I'll go back and look at it, Lauren. If you had audio the entire time, then I won't remake this. I'll just do a separate video. Oh, really? Okay, good. Thank God. Because I really didn't want to do this again. What I typically do is I like to do these live streams and I just do it randomly and I don't really prepare. I prepare in terms of here are the things that I want to share. Here are the articles that I want to share with you. But when I do like my long form videos where it's like succinct, it's 10 minutes, then I'm like very, very meticulous. It's scripted. It's say this point, this point, this point, this point. Don't waste anybody's time. These live streams are just me chatting with you, going through articles, going through videos, going through different concepts. I used to do like a presentation, but I felt like that was just way too corporate-y and stuck up and just like, we don't want another PowerPoint presentation. So this is like very, very casual. So I'm very happy that I don't have to do it again because you can't really recreate casualness. And I'm happy that you got the information from the beginning. So anyways, they go into like limiting your ad tracking here. You can do that if you want to. For the Ring camera stuff, I would stick to these things. Okay. And then they said, request your data to be deleted once you stop the app. Simply deleting the app from your device does not erase your personal data, which is absolutely true. And when you sign up, do not agree to tracking of your data if possible, which is really cool. So this is Mozilla's privacy not included. I'll go to a little bit deeper into it probably at the end of the video because it's phenomenal. Okay. But here is their side that sums up the privacy and security. So let's just say you're thinking of getting a device for you and your kids and you do not know. And if you don't want to read all of this that we just went into, I just did it because I felt like we need to talk about it. But you can scroll all the way down and to their privacy and security and AI. So can it snoop on me? Can a Ring camera snoop on me? Can you? Yes, the device can snoop on you. The app can snoop on you. The app for both the camera, the microphone, and your location. So the entire thing of Ring can snoop on you. If you're worried about snooping, then this is not the product for you. Okay. What can be used to sign up? So you can use email account. No, you cannot use the phone. No, you cannot use a third-party account. What data does Ring camera collect? Well, they collect your name, your email, your phone number, your address, which is to be expected because you need that to use their service. Don't get scared sometimes when companies say what data they're using, especially if the data is something that they're actually going to need. So that's normal. Body-related video and voice recordings, that's normal. It's a camera. That's what it's supposed to be doing. Social, the neighbor app network. The neighbor app word is kind of creepy. It's kind of Black Mirror-ish. If you've ever watched Black Mirror, it's giving Black Mirror. But anyways, it's okay. I understand. I don't know if we want to go into how the company uses the data, but they do have a whole thing on how does the company use your data. They say that they do not sell the data, but they do use it for marketing, consumer service, fulfillment, data analytics, and storages. And of course, unfortunately, employees did access the data as well. So how can you control your data? They said it is unclear if all users, regardless of location, can get their data deleted. So you may delete your recordings from Ring at any time by accessing your account. Additionally, regardless of your use of Ring Protect, we retain Ring Neighborhoods recordings as defined by the term of service, so you can participate in Ring's neighborhood feature. Blah, 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 blah. And then, of course, the thing that we all do not like is that law enforcement can make a video request in the Neighbors app to ask the community to assist in an investigation. Now, a lot of these things, like, they have features that are like pretty cool and they're pretty good. They're like, wow, why would you not want to assist the law enforcement if something happened? Of course you want to do that. So there's some good things about it. It's just that there's a part of it that will make you feel uneasy depending on your experiences, good or bad, with law enforcement. And I wish that all of us had good experiences with law enforcement. Like, I remember growing up and like the things that you will learn about what law enforcement is supposed to do to protect the community. You're like, oh my God, this is so great. But a lot of people now, you have so many bad experiences. I was talking to someone who was a police officer in the Dallas area like last weekend, and he said that a lot of young people, they cannot get anyone to get into these jobs. They're offering $72,000, $80,000, and no one is joining in. And speaking of which, I'm most likely going to be interviewing someone from the police department in Dallas because they have a cyber victims unit and internet crimes against children's unit. And they have seen a lot of crazy things about pedophilia. And I don't know if I should say that on YouTube. But anyways, the rings that are targeting children and preying on children and grooming them. And they saw a lot of crazy things happen in the last 20 years, but in the last 10, 15 years in particular, with the online world and social media and kids being groomed on those platforms. So that is someone who I'm going to be interviewing very soon about this. So anyways, so they have another section, which is, you can tell why I like this resource and I highly recommend that you use it for your family. It's called, what is the company's known, not it's called, but one of the sections, they go into the company's known track record of protecting users' data. Okay. So they have a summary of how it's protected, and they just said bad. What's the track record? Absolutely bad. It is horrible, horrific. It's bad. So that's the summary. You know, we can go into a little bit more. Lauren says, but the police don't need your permission. No, they do not. That's scary. Anything you say can and will be used against you. Those words do not say speaking to them helps you at all. Exactly. So if speaking to them is not helpful, what about sharing video feeds with them? And that's why a lot of people are concerned. Okay? Yeah, that's why people are concerned. Because if speaking is bad, then what half your life being recorded? Okay, anyways. So it was reported that in May 2022, Amazon's patched Ring app Android due to a high severity security vulnerability that could have allowed hackers to access personal information, location, and camera recordings. Amazon admitted to giving Ring video doorbell footage to police without an owner's permission at least 11 times in 2022. So Amazon was sharing footage from your Ring camera without your permission. Without your permission, at least 11 times, that they say at least 11 times. That's freaking scary. So you mean that you have something, so even if it's secure, like Lauren said at the beginning, does it matter if they're sharing your data with other people and you don't even know about it until later? And we only know about the 11 times at least, okay? In 2021, the Federal Trade Commission in the US recommended filing a lawsuit against Amazon because of the privacy and security breaches in Ring Home Security Unit. And again, in 2023, did they update it for 2023? I don't think so, but we already know. We just read the FTC thing. It's 2023 again. In December 2020, a class action lawsuit was filed alleging lax security measures at Ring allowed hackers to take over devices. This is what we talked about with that video I shared from the Today Show. In November 2019, they had a security vulnerability in their system that could have allowed hackers to exploit the doorbell to intercept the owner's credentials, meaning your login information, your Wi-Fi login information. Absolutely crazy. In 2019, Motherboard reported how Ring's weak and compromised email addresses and passwords left Ring cameras easy to hack, which happens with a lot of cameras. It's not just Ring, it's a lot of different cameras. And in 2022, Paige Thompson, which is a former Amazon employee, accused of stealing the personal information of 100 million customers by breaching banking giant Capital One in 2019, was found guilty by a Seattle jury on charges of wire fraud, and computer hacking. Like, insane. And then July 2021, they issued a 746 million euro fine for Amazon allegedly violating the GDPR. In 2020, security research at Checkpoint, which is like a big, amazing organization for security, pointed out a flaw in Amazon's Alexa that allowed Alexa's smart home, let me read it the way it is. Pointed out a flaw at Amazon Alexa's smart home devices that could have allowed hackers access to personal information and conversation history. Thankfully, which is what exactly Amazon should do, they promptly fixed the bug. And then in 2020, Amazon fired an employee for leaking customers' email addresses, which as they should fire their employee for doing that. 2019, Forbes reported that Amazon employees were listening to Amazon Cloud Clam recording to train its AI algorithm. Not really good at all. In 2019, it was revealed that thousands of employees, many of whom are contract workers and some not even directly employed by Amazon, had access to both voice and text transcripts from Alexa's interactions. So for child privacy information, Ring products and services are intended for a general audience and not directed by children. We do not knowingly collect personal data from kids under 13. They don't knowingly do that, but you never know. Privacy friendly information, yes, they do, which is actually pretty good. They have a webpage dedicated to answering their privacy pillars, which is actually very good. And I'm really happy that they have that. So anyways, let me link this in the chat again so that you can see it. We didn't go into the AI portion, but the Ring camera does use AI, which is artificial intelligence. Is this AI untrustworthy? The Mozilla privacy team could not determine if it's trustworthy. What kind of decisions does an artificial intelligence make about you or for you? Ring cameras use camera-based motion detection to start a recording. We all know that if you've dealt with the Ring cameras. Is the company transparent about how their AI works? They said they cannot determine, and you do not have any control over their AI features. So let me put this in the chat because, yeah, this is like really, really good. So now that we've finished that portion of the Ring cameras, let me go into exactly the resource that you can use. We talked about it a little bit before, but I wanted to go a little bit deeper into that. And then we're going to close out for the night. If you have any questions, let me know. If you have any suggestions on videos that you want me to do, also let me know that as well. I'd be happy to create some random video. That's helpful. So anyways, Mozilla's privacy not included goes into a lot of different things. And so let's just say you want a secure messaging app. I highly recommend that you use Signal. Signal is a really good messaging app. If you don't know that, you can use it with your friends and family. If you want to share your Wi-Fi password, someone said that in the chat. Again, you can use 1Password, but this site goes into every single thing that you may want to get for you and your kids, and you can look through this website. I highly recommend you do. I did a whole video on how smartwatches or watches in general are not safe for kids. Some of the watches are not safe, not the smartwatches, but some watches are not safe for your kids because the companies that develop those watches, they don't have good security and privacy. And they say that they track your kids or whatever, but a lot of hackers or predators are able to hack into those watches and record your kids or find out where your kids are going. And so if you're trying to get a tracker for your kids and you want to make sure the tracker has some good track records, no pun intended, with security and privacy, I would check out this website to look into to see, okay, what are they talking about with wearable security? Is Garmin good and safe? Garmin doesn't have like a little this thing over here. They don't have that. Apple AirTags, they don't have any privacy little warning sign over there. The Apple AirTags, the only problem with them is that they're really not made for live tracking of children or people or whatever. You can track people, but it's a little bit more challenging to do so. Fitbit doesn't have a little warning on it. Sometimes something will have a warning just to say, hey, there's something to it, but overall it's pretty good. It's an okay watch to get. So the reason why I'm saying this is that if you want to get a security camera, I would recommend that you go to their smart home tab and then you scroll down and you go to security cams. And in these security cams, the only security cam that does not have a little thing by it is the Google Nest cams, Arlo security cams, Netatmo, and Simply Safe. And so this doesn't mean that there's not some privacy things that you want to be aware of. It's just there weren't any glaring issues. The most popular ones over here are Arlo, at least for me, Arlo, Google, and Simply Safe. I believe someone I knew did like something with Simply Safe. But anyways, so they have ways that you can protect yourself and their community. They tell you if they have encryption on the camera, if you're trying to get this for your family. They tell you, do they allow you to have a strong password? Because sometimes a company will allow you to set up a security camera and then they will allow you to put a password, but they won't allow you to put a long password or secure password. They limit your password characters to like 25 characters or something. And let's just say you want to make a 99 character. I have done that before, by the way. I know that's insane, but I have done that. I've done a security camera where it was like 99 characters. Okay. I want to do whatever I want to do. It's not a security camera, but like a device that I was setting up. I want to do what I want to do. Do they allow you to do that? So this Mozilla resource paper allows you to see, do they have that? Do they have security updates? You can say yes or no. Do they manage their vulnerabilities? Do they have something to report any security issues or bug issues in the camera? It'll say yes or no. So according to Mozilla, a different camera that you can look into, I'll look into a little bit more of their company for even more, because their last review date was 2021. So I want to see, has anything happened in the last 3 years with Simply Safe? So I remember them. I don't really know. Mozilla says it's okay. They're neutral on it. They don't have a big thumbs up. And a lot of people voted that the Simply Safe cameras are super creepy. But this is for you to determine what's best for you and your family. So if you're looking for an alternative to Ring security camera, this is just a resource that I would pull up really quickly and decide, hey, do I want to get this? They go over everything that you can do. I wonder if this is the one that has a privacy shutter. Like it has a little shutter that shuts closed if you're not operating it so that you're not being viewed by other people. This product does use AI. It goes into some of the things. It can snoop on you. It says, yes, obviously it's a security camera like we did with Ring. Obviously it's the same thing. And they collect some data on you and it tells you how it uses the data, who can control your data. And you can do this for any of the things that you are looking to get. So let's say we're looking into, let's go back. Why is my internet is like slow? I don't know. Maybe a hamster's running it. I don't know. But let's go back to the smart device. It's still slow. Okay, here we go. Let's go to security cameras again. So we looked at Simply Safe. Simply Safe looks pretty good. It looks way better right now than the Ring camera. And then let's go into Netatmo. I don't know why I feel like Netatmo is like, I wonder who's the original company. Okay, so it's probably Europe or something. Okay, so let's go into really quickly their privacy. So it says it can't determine if it snoops on you on certain things, which is really interesting. They said the data is not sold and never shared. Let's go into some of the security. So apparently they have strong passwords. They have security updates. They manage vulnerabilities. They have a privacy policy. The only reason why I like Simply Safe a little bit more from just seeing this is because they have a little bit more, they have a bounty program. They have a little more links over here. But the thing that makes this better than Simply Safe, just off the bat, is that Mozilla says thumbs up. And a lot of people who've used it said that it was not creepy, but I would do more research on it because it's 2021. So I'm giving you a look into how I look into things and what I decide, like, is this something that I would use for me and my family? And I love this resource because it's easy to use and you can understand, is this something that I really want to get? Let's look at Arlo, then Google, and then I will close out. Because I didn't want to leave this without looking at some other options for Ring. I don't want you to be sitting here like, oh my God, life is over. There's no other options. Like, just choose what works best for you. Don't stress about it as much as possible. Just be well informed when you're making these decisions. So off the bat, Mozilla is like very neutral about Arlo. And some people said it's somewhat creepy. So that's something you want to look into a little bit more. And then we're going to go into their privacy. So you need an email. You can use a third-party account, which is not always the best. You don't really want a third-party account. So I don't know why they enabled that, but whatever. They have strong passwords. The thing that I love about Arlo from the get-go is that they require you to have two-step verification, which means 2 ways of authenticating to an account. So they require it. Amen. That's what we want. All companies should require two-factor authentication. That just means if a hacker or predator tries to get into your account, it's just harder for them because now they need to know a one-time security code as opposed to a password you used 50 million times ago. That's great. It has encryption. It meets Mozilla's minimum security standards. They manage vulnerabilities, which is good. They have a bug bounty program, which basically just means report anything that is wrong with the app to the team. So that is very good, just off the bat. Yeah. And then apparently there's a privacy shield that will come with your Arlo camera, which is really good. So you can see why Mozilla rated this okay to use. And I'm very happy that they have that. Lauren says, I only have a camera facing my dog's crate and gives no view of my actual living space. It's not a Ring camera, but it's Blink's. Yeah, so Amazon, but is it being run the same as Ring? You know what? I don't know, but I would say from what I've seen before, from my research before this live and through this live, that I would operate as if it is, because, you know, I would operate as if it is, but there hasn't been a lot in the news as much as Ring has. But yeah, because it's Amazon and it's owned by them, and there's a lot of, oh, let me show you what I typically do if I don't know. So I'll go Ring, Amazon, Blink security or cybersecurity issues. So I'm not going to, should I say, I don't know if I can share this screen, but if I do that, here are the 2 articles that come up. There's an article about how does Amazon handle cybersecurity in general, and I'm pretty sure they have Blink in here. Oh, they don't actually. Okay, so this is another one that says, okay, they issued some fixes to Blink after they were found vulnerable to hacking. So this is a Blink camera. So I just quickly do that on Google, where it's like Ring security, cybersecurity issues, or cybersecurity vulnerabilities to see what has happened. Now, this is back in 2019 when a lot of the Ring cameras had issues as well. And so according to this website, which I do not know this website, I'm not patronizing, I don't know this website, but they said Amazon.com said that it's fixed some of their security issues in certain Blink home camera systems after a cybersecurity firm found their vulnerabilities. And so this was in Blink's XT2 camera systems, and it gave attackers full control over the device. What I will say about this type of stuff is that it will happen to any type of device that you have. Any device that you have can have security issues. So just because a device needs to have a security update doesn't mean it's bad. It just means that an update was fixed, and that's very good. Anything can happen. The problem is when it's left unfixed, or they do a poor job fixing it, or they never fix it at all. That's when the problem is. So what I've seen before, it seems like Blink had some issues, but it was fixed. And then you can see over here in another cybersecurity article that there is an update to Amazon's Blink cameras to fix the security vulnerabilities. Like I said, because it's owned by Amazon, I would assume that they have a very similar system in terms of managing it. But Amazon's a huge, gigantic company, and there is a possibility that they do not manage it the same way that they do with the Ring doorbell cameras. So the short answer is I don't know, like I said before, but yes, there were security issues, and it seems like they have fixed it. according to some security sites. Okay, so let's look at the last one. The Netmo, we went to Arlo. So last one is Google Nest Cams. So Mozilla says they're neutral on Google Nest Cams on terms of their security and privacy. And a lot of people voted that it is super creepy. So we're gonna scroll down. They have a whole chunk of information. If you have Google Nest, you can look at this. If you don't, then it doesn't really matter. But scrolling down, really looking at the synopsis of it, you can use a third-party account to sign in. Obviously, it's Google. They're going to do that. They have some really good encryption. They have encryption in transit and at rest. We're not going to get into the details of that, but they have encryption, strong passwords, security updates, and they manage the vulnerabilities. Obviously, it's Google. They have bug bounties and security wars programs, so that's really good. And they have a privacy policy. And of course, they're going to use AI. And they have a little bit more information about their, well, they have academic papers about their AI research. And they have some open source tools that you can look at. And Google is transparent about how their AI works, and you do have control over the AI features. So this is why I always say go to this website first to look at it. It's one of the best websites I have ever seen on managing, right, exactly, a system. On managing like your privacy and security and what apps to use. It's not apps to use, tech to use, but they also have apps. So they have apps for managing menstrual cycles, pregnancy, fitness, health, sleep. Like, do you want to know, is the app that is calculating your sleep schedule, or how often you are getting up, or how many steps you're walking, or how you're moving, or whatever? Are they collecting it in a good way? Are they selling it with a company? That is a good website to use. So I appreciate you so much. Thank you so much for being here. If you're watching the replay and you have any questions, any thoughts, any opinions, put it in the comments below. And if you want me to do a different video or some particular topic, just let me know. I'm chill. I'll most likely do it if I believe that it aligns to the content that I create. If it's not aligned, then I'm going to be like, respectfully, no. Anyways, until next time, bye.